Good afternoon, everybody. As always, I hope you're doing well. Let's talk a bit today about the law of vibration. Who's familiar with the law of vibration? Like if you think of the Kabbalistic, what does it say? Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Right? So let's talk a little bit about this. I think that it is a great tool for focus, for meditation, for introspection. Let's see how we could apply this to our lives.
Now, the law of vibration is always working in your life, whether you believe in it or not. And it's the law of vibration that really powers and drives the law of attraction. Now, in the past, spirituality and science were polar opposites. But now, especially with quantum physics, that's been able to explain many of the spiritual concepts and principles scientifically. And that's a good thing because that helps us explain them more. And when we explain and understand them more, we then believe in them more, which means we're more likely to use them and benefit from them. So a key principle behind the law of vibration is that everything is energy and energy is everything. And this is also backed up by quantum physics. So a chair, a table, a tree, an animal, even light and sound, and of course ourselves are all energy. So if everything is energy, and that includes us, that means that our thoughts, feelings and emotions are also energy as well. And again, this has been backed up by quantum physics with the invention of powerful microscopes. So if you take a microscope to part of the human body, you'll notice it's made up of cells. And within those cells, there's tissues, atoms and molecules. And if you zoom in even further, you'll find that those tissues, atoms and molecules are basically pure energy. So the next key principle behind the law of vibration is that energy is always moving. So energy never rests, energy never stands still, it's always moving and it's always in motion. Now this energy doesn't move in a random fashion, it actually moves very logically in waves or frequencies, and these are often known as vibrations. So in this video I might talk about frequencies or vibrations, they're basically the same thing. So every object has its own unique vibration or frequency. So a chair has its own unique frequency. A table has its own unique vibrational frequency. Ourselves have a different vibrational frequency. So anything that's solid or appears solid, including ourselves, are simply cells, atoms and molecules that are vibrating at a certain frequency. And that frequency is so fast that our eyes cannot pick up on them. And that's why these things appear solid. Now the same energy can vibrate at different frequencies, and the best way to explain this is to think about radio waves. So all around us we have radio waves, but when we use our radio to tune into classic rock, we're tuning into a specific frequency that station is at. If we decide to listen to the news on the radio, then that's a different frequency, and if we want to listen to the latest pop hits, that's another frequency. So same energy, same radio waves, but different frequencies. And the same goes to ourselves as well. Us as humans are a type of energy, but humans can emit that energy at different frequencies. So a person that's good with money emits a certain vibrational frequency that is different to someone that is poor with money. Someone that attracts terrible relationships and always seems to attract bad people into their lives is emitting a different vibrational energy to someone that always attracts loving and positive people into their lives. Now your vibrational frequency can also influence your health, and interestingly this vibrational frequency can be measured just like you can measure radio waves and different radio frequencies. So a healthy human body is between 62 and 70 megahertz. Now once your body goes below 62 megahertz, then cells can start to mutate and start to cause illnesses. And if you have the cold or the flu, your vibration has gone down to about 58 megahertz. If you go below 42 megahertz, that's when cancer can start to appear. So if you know someone that's got a lot of constant but unrelated health issues, they just seem to be always getting sick in some way, then perhaps it's their vibrational frequency that's causing that. Now, people that are unaware of the law of vibration will tend to have a fairly set vibrational frequency that runs throughout life, and this is based on their consistent, habitual and predictable ways of thinking, feeling and acting. And these are largely subconscious and can take some effort to change, but once you get that awareness, you can start to influence this, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. Now, although your typical vibrational frequency is within a certain range or set point, it does vary a little bit on a daily basis, and that's why you sometimes have good days and you sometimes have bad days. Now, whilst you can't see the law of vibration, you can sometimes feel it. So maybe someone walks into a room that has some kind of negative energy about them. Perhaps it's your boss or manager, and they come into like a common room or something and everybody goes quiet. Maybe you've had this experience at school with a teacher. Or you come into a room after two people have had a big argument and you can sense that energy in the room. And maybe you decide to leave that room and go somewhere else and give them a wide berth. So you can sometimes feel that energy, especially that negative energy. But also in a social situation, you know, when you meet positive people that are enthusiastic and full of life, you sense their positive energy and you tend to act more like that person. Or maybe you come across people that I call drainers, people that are complaining, thinking and talking negatively all the time. You can find how you can sense the energy and that can drain you a little bit.
Do you believe somebody could be trained potentially?
Now you know that everything is energy and the energy is always moving or vibrating. Great. That'll make a good conversation at a party. However, it won't transform your life. The next bit will, and that is that energy with a similar vibration attracts other energy that also has a similar vibration. So, as it says in the law of attraction, like attracts like, or like energy attracts like energy. So energy that is vibrating at a certain frequency attracts other energy that is vibrating at the same frequency. And the best way to explain this is to think of two tuning forks. So a tuning fork has two prongs, and when you strike the tuning fork, it makes a sound because the two prongs vibrate. But what they found was if you put another tuning fork nearby, the vibrations from the first tuning fork, so the sound waves, started to make the second tuning fork vibrate without it being struck. So the second tuning fork made the sound automatically. And what this proves is that similar vibrations work in harmony with each other, and this is often known as resonance. Now it's the same with people. So if you have an abundance mindset, then your level of vibration is going to be in harmony and is going to resonate with other vibrations that are also abundant. So you attract more abundance into your life. If you have a scarcity mindset, then that's a different level of vibration which will be in harmony and resonate with other scarcity vibrations. So you attract more scarcity and lack into your life. So the key point here to remember is you don't get what you want, you get what you are. So this is so important, I'm going to repeat it again. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So what are you? Well, your energy that is vibrating at a certain frequency. So that's who you are at your very core. And the good thing about that is it means that when you change your sense of identity and you change your core beliefs and your consistent ways of thinking and feeling, then you can influence that level of vibration and increase it over time. So the next principle behind the law of vibration is that energy is never created or destroyed. So often when we're doing personal development, it's because we want to create or achieve something in our life. So it could be a new house, a new car, a new relationship, or maybe a new career. We want to create things. But according to quantum physics, energy is never created or destroyed. It just changes forms or changes levels of vibration. So in truth, we don't create anything. What we want and desire is simply energy that is vibrating at a frequency that you cannot see yet. So think of it as a bit like a dog whistle. So a dog whistle has a pitch and vibratory range that is outside what the human ear can hear. And that's because our ears and dogs' ears have a different vibrational frequency. So dogs' ears are much more sensitive to sound, especially high sounds, than our human ears are. But that doesn't mean that the dog whistle doesn't exist. It's just that it's at a pitch that is outside the vibratory range that our ears can hear. So when you think about what you want and what you want to desire in your life, thinking about it as being outside that range that you can perceive right now is very, very useful, because it means that it's already there. It's just a case of you bringing that into the physical world in some way. Now, whilst we can't improve our hearing to be as good as a dog, we can change our frequency or vibration in other ways. So we can tune in or pick up higher vibrational frequencies that we wouldn't have picked up on in the past. So instead of thinking about creating things, focus on changing who you are. So you increase your level of vibration, and then you'll resonate more of what you desire, and you'll be more in harmony with it as well. Now, physical objects, plants and animals cannot consciously change their vibrational frequency, but we can, and we can do that by changing our thoughts, and especially by changing our feelings and emotions. And the most effective way to do this is to change your emotional state. So when you consistently and regularly choose happy feelings, then you'll have an energy vibration that is in harmony with happy feelings. So you attract more people, situations and opportunities into your life that bring happiness. And if you regularly feel upset, angry, frustrated, inferior or worthless, then you're going to bring more of that into your life. So it all really starts with awareness. So notice how you feel during the day. What are the situations and people that tend to trigger negative emotional states? What are the tasks and activities that don't feel good when you do them? Noticing how you feel is the best way to know when your level of vibration changes from high to low. So now you understand the science behind the law of vibration and the benefits to increasing your vibrational frequency.
So I'm going to read and share a few parts of an article from the law of vibration. Now, it says here that everything in the universe is in motion. Whether solid, liquid, or gas, all things move, all things vibrate, and travel in circular patterns. Each thing that exists is identical by its own unique vibrational frequency. Frequency is defined as the number of periodic oscillations, vibrations, or waves per unit of time. It states that no two things are completely the same. Nothing in the universe can be truly identical and is unique because it has its own vibrational pattern. The difference between matter and energy are explained by the differences in these vibratory motions. Phenomena such as light, heat, magnetism, electricity, and sound are forms of vibration motion, just as trees, desks, flowers, or animals are. And when things vibrate very slowly, we hear no noise. Physical objects vibrate slowest, which is why we cannot hear any sound emitting from them, as vibration is decreased. We begin to hear lower pitched sounds. Further increases in vibration allow us to hear higher pitched notes, as when we strike the ascending keys on the piano. If vibrations increase further to a higher frequency, we may not be able to hear the sound because it may have moved out of our ability to register the frequency. Same with our ability to see color. We're limited to only seeing the colors that are contained within the spectrum of light, the rainbow. Our first perception is of a dark red. As vibration increases, the red becomes brighter and then turns into orange, and then to yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Now, violet vibrates higher into ultraviolet, where we no longer have the ability to see the color, just as we cannot see infrared with the naked eye. So this says that the same principles of vibration that apply to the physical world also apply to us. And our thoughts, our feelings, our desires, and our will. We each have our own unique sound, says the Ascended Masters. And that perfect sound is who we really are. If we would become still long enough to connect with that sound, we would discover our true, perfect us. This says that disruptions in our lives, in our lifestyle, television, radio, people, and noises in general, all serve to keep us from hearing that perfect sound within and from becoming it. Many of the vibrational frequencies in the world work to compete with the see how that happened? Wow, Freudian slip right there. To compete and disrupt our mental and emotional state. See that? That was an example right there, so I'll correct that. Now, those are things that keep us, it happened again. Shit, that's all right. Keep going, because I'm keeping it real, right? So these things are things that keep us from connecting with our perfect self, what's laying dormant inside each one of us. Our thoughts, our emotions, and our will sends out vibrations into the universe. And every thought or mental state has a corresponding rate and a mode of vibration. And the higher the vibration, the longer lasting the effects are. And the lower the vibration, the more potent the effects are in short term. In the higher dimensions, such as the fifth dimension, the law of vibration is considered to be what is. In this dimension, nothing is assigned meaning, only frequency. Thought, emotions, behaviors, and actions are understood for the level at which they reside. An angry person is analyzed objectively as being angry, with no value assigned to the behavior. An effort is made to try to understand the behavior, and perhaps a plan is prepared to try and raise that vibrational frequency to a higher level, thus transmuting the anger into something less painful. We live in the third dimension, a plane of dichotomies, which reflects most things as good or bad, black or white, yes or no. Because our identity is associated with this mode of operation, most of us have characteristics, styles of optimism or pessimism. Optimism resides on a higher frequency, and pessimism resides on a lower frequency. Optimists tend to expect more of the world. This is communicated to others and is likely to be realized. Pessimists expect negativity. They anticipate gloom and doom and actually help to create it. Our basic style is important because however we choose to create a vibration that goes out into the collective consciousness and helps whether to either raise the earth's vibration or lower them. So it's really important to take a hold of everything within yourself. You take every thought captive. That's why I'm always talking about why it's so important. It says here, when we express negativity, we take on an amount of negativity equal to what we have expressed. Similar, when we express ourselves in positive ways, it takes on an equal amount of positive vibrations. This part kind of reminds me of cause and effect. Vibration not only affect us, but it impacts the people around us. Positive or negative vibrations may resonate to others and create similar vibrations. If we send out thoughts of envy, criticism, hate, or jealousy, then guess what? We get back that same energy that we put out. Thoughts are real thought forms that are aroused and then sent back. Cause and effect. Often, the full impact of our behavior on others is not well understood. We can be a positive force working for the betterment of our organization or our community, or we can have a negative force and tear down what is being built. Perhaps the most difficult form of negativity to overcome is personal or group criticism, cynicism. Many individuals who have experienced multiple disappointments or failure begin to believe that nothing will work. The group mind then creates a vibrational belief that nothing will work. See, what you put out, you get back.
So the first way is meditation. Meditation is one of the best ways to stop negative emotions such as anger, guilt, sadness, frustration, impatience, and many other negative emotions. And it does this by allowing you to observe the thoughts that are behind those negative emotional states. It's also very relaxing for both the body and the mind, and that also helps you see things in a different way. You get a different perspective on things. It can also help you achieve more positive states such as joy, happiness, peacefulness, hope, those kind of states. And it's also great for stopping negative thoughts and replacing them with more positive thoughts. So it's great for identifying those negative thoughts, but also for stopping them and then replacing them with those more positive thoughts too. So the second way is to release negative energy and negative emotions. So many people hold on to negative emotions. They hold them inside, they keep them inside. They feel that if they express those emotions that might be very uncomfortable or that it won't really help. Now the law of vibration responds to long-term negative emotional states and not short-term ones. So that means it's okay to express those emotions. So to have a good cry, to bash some pillows, or do something that just gets them out of your system. You can also release that negative energy by journaling. So start writing down how you feel. You'll find that just the act of writing things down will help release those emotions. It also helps you gain a new perspective as well. And then another great way to release the emotions is called the Sedona method. And I cover this in another video that will appear up here right now. So the third way is to eat high frequency foods. So if everything is energy vibrating at a certain frequency, then that includes foods. So therefore it makes sense that if you eat foods that have a high vibratory frequency, then that should increase your vibrational frequency as well. So I'll now cover some foods from low frequency to high frequency. So processed foods, 0 megahertz, so the lowest possible. Next one is meat, so that's about 2 megahertz. Then you've got fresh herbs, they're up to 20 to 27 megahertz. Then fruit and vegetables, especially the green ones, they're around 65 to 75 megahertz. Green cold-pressed juices and spirulina are at around 170 megahertz. And then essential oils are anything from 52 megahertz up to 320 megahertz. So think about what you eat and how you can use foods to increase your level of vibration. So the next way is to be in high frequency emotional states. Now the law of vibration responds much more to how you feel rather than how you think. So positive emotional states are much more powerful than positive thoughts. So the more positive emotional states you can experience, the better. And some of these states include unconditional love, gratitude, joy, forgiveness, and enthusiasm. Now you can get into a high frequency emotional state right now by putting on some uplifting music and having a little dance, by exercising, by performing random acts of kindness, by expressing gratitude and keeping a gratitude journal. It could be by constantly looking for things that are funny. So maybe that's funny YouTube videos or funny programs on TV or just anything else that makes you laugh or smile. And also by reading inspirational books. So the next one is to choose high vibration situations and people. So spend time with people that make you feel good. Those people will be emitting a high vibrational frequency. That's why you feel good when you're around them. They're what I call radiators because they're emitting that positive energy. And also choose situations and places that make you feel good as well. Often getting out in nature. Nature has a very high vibrational frequency. So spend some time out in nature and just be intentional about about, the people you hang out with, and the things that you do, and try and do as many of the things that you can do that make you feel good and give you that high vibrational frequency. So the final way to increase your level of vibration is through positive thinking. And this is important because what you think affects how you feel. So any consistent and persistent negative thoughts lead to negative feelings and negative emotional states. And if those tend to persist, then that tends to lower your level of vibration. So instead you want to be choosing thoughts that make you feel good, that empower you and move you towards your goals and dreams. Now, it's pretty much impossible to prevent all negative thoughts. So here are 3 little quick tips to help you. So when you notice a negative thought, just mentally or out loud say the word stop and then change to a different and more positive thought. Or imagine that negative thought or that negative self-talk is coming from another person. So it's coming from someone outside of yourself. And also, just imagine you're the observer. So you're just noticing those thoughts, you're observing them, you're not judging them in any way. This is easier done through meditation, but you can do it at other times during the day as well. So to wrap up then, when you can believe in the things that you cannot see, you open yourself up to a whole new world of possibilities.
Individuals must learn to open their minds and hearts and to think from a place connected to a higher consciousness. For the solutions will be found only on the higher planes of existence, through the law of vibration. I think that Paul from Self-Help for Life did a phenomenal job on this video. He really put it in simple terms for us to kind of get an idea of the law of vibration and how it affects our day-to-day living. I hope this video helped you. I know it helped me.